Hello and welcome to Ask A Web Geek. My name is CJ Gilbert and I'm the website safari guide. I help business owners and entrepreneurs with their websites and marketing. I can build a website from scratch, or we can work on just one piece of your website today. You're joining me for my show, Ask A Web Geek. This is my weekly, maybe it's going to be every other weekly show, live show, video show, and podcast, where we talk about your questions. We believe that your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. It's the only thing you can fully own and control online. And so I'm here to help you maximize that resource for your business and make your website do more for your business. While we're at it, we're going to be using a lot of other online tools and resources. Social media is fantastic, and you should absolutely have some kind of social media strategy in play. And there's a lot of other tools. We've talked about scheduling tools, PayPal buttons, and a million zillion things, email, social media. So do look back on some of our previous shows for that information. And if you have another question for me, please let me know. Jump into our Facebook group, ask whatever question you have on any tools or technology for your business, something online, something that we can help you with, something you're not sure how to use, but you think you should and you want more details on it. That's what we're here for. I don't know all the answers. I've been doing this for a while and I got a lot of answers, but our community is full of professionals that will have answers for you if I don't. So come here, ask your question, and we'll make sure to get those answers for you. We've got a great show lined up for you. We've got a couple questions. We've got some information to go over. We've got our studio audience down here with comments and questions. So if you'd like to be part of our studio audience during a live taping, come join our Facebook group, and I've got more details on how to do that coming right up. Let's jump over into our slides. Here we go. Ask a Web Geek with CJ Gilbert. I'm the web safari guide. Yeah, I made that up because the internet's a jungle, and people really seem to resonate with that message. Is it too easy to get lost, go down wrong paths, and not get where you want to go? That's most people's experience, and I'm here to help you through. What would you like to ask a web geek? This is the place. This is the time. Ask whatever questions you have about websites, marketing, email campaigns, social media, online tools and resources, even offline tools. We've been talking about business networking offline. Anything I can do to help you and your business succeed. You know, we believe that your website is your number one tool. Yes, your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. It's the only thing you can own and control online. And I can't emphasize that enough. In the shifting landscape of social media and tech companies coming and going and merging, you've got to have your own website, your own .com that you fully own. And we'll talk about a few pieces of that today. You know, if you think of your website like a tool, you can use it to enhance each aspect of your business. You can use it to attract more customers, to make more sales, to enhance your customer service, to increase your efficiency, save time, save money, serve your clients better, faster, and easier. I want to take just a minute and congratulate you. Thank you for being here this morning. You know, if you're listening to me, you're watching me right now, that means you want to improve your business and you're taking the steps you need to do so. That's a small percentage of people that continue to work on themselves, their education, their business. And so I want to acknowledge you for being here this morning with me, either live or on the recording later or listening in your car on the podcast. You are taking steps. You are in action. And I want to applaud you for just a minute. Pat yourself on the back and tell yourself you're doing a great job. I'm glad you're here, and I know that you're going to get something out of today's show because of it. Ask a Web Geek is available in several online platforms. Here's how it works. Join our Facebook group first, Ask a Web Geek, and there you can ask any questions you have, and you can participate in the live show. Drop a question anytime during the week, and then when we go live into the group, approximately 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern on Wednesdays, we record the show together. I go live for a few minutes. We have a little chat while I finish up my slides and get everything in order. And then we start the taping of the show. So we'd love for you to be part of our live taping. We do that in the Facebook group. Also subscribe on YouTube because a few days after we record that show, I produce it as a video podcast. I put the video up on YouTube and I release the podcast into the airwaves where you can download however you like. We're also available on Twitter. if you're listening to the podcast or watching it later, feel free to comment. If you're on YouTube, you can comment right there. If you're listening to the podcast anywhere in the world on any device, you can jump over to our Twitter at Ask A Web Geek and just let me know what episode you're listening to, what you thought was funny, what you thought was stupid, what you had more questions on. That's me behind at Ask A Web Geek. We'd love for you to tweet along as you watch or listen. Listen to the podcast on whatever podcast player you use. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts. Those are the big players right now, but there's several other platforms. And if you can't find us on your favorite platform, let me know. I want to make sure that we're there, but hopefully we are. Let me know if you have any questions about how to find the show and any questions that you have as you listen to the show. Quick disclaimer, you must be willing to have your question or issue addressed in a public forum. I'll always hide your passwords. I'll always do my best to hide sensitive information if I know that we're going to be jumping into the back of a website or we're going to be doing something to get into your actual material. Otherwise, we're just going to be looking at public sites, public websites, or diving into my own stuff so that I know that everything I'm sharing here is perfectly fine and acceptable. And as you're asking questions about tools, make sure that it's okay that I answer those here in a public forum. Otherwise, we'll take that question to a different, offline or to a different place. Keep in mind, this is not legal or professional advice. I'm a web geek with 20 years of experience creating websites and sales and marketing, but I'm not an attorney and I'm not a CPA. You need to have those legal professionals in your business so that you can ask them questions that are really important and make sure they give you that advice. I don't have that kind of credential, and you need to have someone like that on your team. Wonderful. And you accept responsibility for everything, of course, including your own success. So who am I? I'm CJ Gilbert. I'm a web geek. I've been a web developer for over 20 years. Now I'm a speaker and author. I build websites. I help people fix just a piece of their website. I wrote a book once upon a time called 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website. It's available on Amazon. You can find links to it on all of my websites. My business, Gilbert Studios, is here to serve your business. I want you to do more business. I want you to do better business. I am a business-to-business business. That is to say, I only serve other business owners, entrepreneurs, independent professionals, speakers, coaches, and authors. If you're one of those people in one of those groups, come join our community, ask me whatever questions, and we're here to help you move forward and do more in your business. You're an expert in what you do, and I'm an expert in the technology that can help you better do what you do. So let's put our heads together and each help each other grow. Be on the lookout for your golden nugget. You know, we've learned that our brains are so interesting. We learn something new as we consume information over and over on different levels. What I mean by that is you'll find something new even if you read my book once, twice, and a third time, or you hear me speak on the same topic, or you watch one of these videos a second or third time. Even if you buy me a cup of coffee and we sit down and chat, you're going to be in a new place, your brain is going to be in a new place, and therefore you're going to pick up on something that's new in that moment. So all you have to do right now is just be open to receive something new and be on the lookout for your golden nugget today. So I would encourage you to grab some paper, draw a line right down the middle, label the left side notes and the right side actions. So as you're listening to me and you're watching the show, you can take your kind of stream of consciousness notes right down that left-hand side. But then there's going to be certain pieces that stand out to you, and you'll understand that that's something you want to take action on right away. Make that note in the right-hand column so you can find it really easily later, and make sure to star your golden nuggets. Ask a Web Geek is sponsored by the Active Life Company. This is a fantastic time for me to take a drink out of my Active Life Company mug. Right there, the Active Life Company. Melissa is part of our community, and she's been a great participator right from the beginning, asking questions, participating in the show, and took me up on my offer. I said to her, to anyone, to you as well, if you want to become a mug sponsor of the show, give me one of your mugs and I'll drink my coffee out of it right here on the show, and boom, you're a sponsor. So she said, I'd love to do that, gave me one of her mugs, and went even a step further. I started talking about her product. She sells an all-natural skin protectant on her website, theactivelifecompany.com, and she decided to create a promo code just for our community. It's WebGeek, all one word, WEBGEEK, WebGeek. You'll get 15% off anything you order from her website using the code WebGeek. Thank you so much for doing that, Melissa. You didn't have to. We're so glad you're part of our community. Cheers. This sip of coffee is for you. Really glad that she's part of our community here. So do check out her website, would you please? theactivelifecompany.com. Also, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, or even if you have, I gotta tell you again, check out this call. This is a daily call by my mentor, Eric Lofholm. He does this for free every morning. It's a free 15-minute call. It just helps you get fired up. It puts you in the mindset of success. He's teaching sales principles. He's teaching lead generation. He's teaching script, closing scripts. But really what he's doing is he's providing daily motivation to keep you moving in your business. Being in business is tough. It's hard to get up every day and get to it. And this kind of a tool, this kind of a resource, it really helps me on a daily basis. So I've got all the details for you. Just go to amcall.gilbertstudios.com. That's AM like the morning time, like it's 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m., amcall.gilbertstudios.com. If you go to that address, you just put in your email address and he'll send you all the details, because it's a live call at 7:45 every morning for 15 minutes. You can be on the live call and he'll send you the code to do that. Or if it doesn't work in your schedule, I can't always be on the live call, so I always listen to the recording later if I didn't listen to it that day. And there's a website, there's a podcast website you can go to. It's also uploaded to YouTube. So he'll give you all those details if you just go to amcall.gilbertstudios.com, pop in your email address, and you'll get all that information sent right to you. I do it every day, guys, and I encourage you to do it as well. Also, take advantage of my free video workshop, 5 Keys to Unlock the Profit Hidden in Your Website. This is a lot of the content from my book. It's the main points out of my book, but it's in a video format, an easy to use, easy to digest video format. There's 7 videos and they're less than 10 minutes each. And this allows you to consume this content at your pace. If you want to, this could be a 1-hour class. You could sit down, you could plunge straight through it on a Saturday and get all the information you need. Or you can space it out. When you sign up for this class, I send you an email that says, how would you like to get your reminder emails? Would you like 1 a day for 7 days? Or would you like 1 every 3 days? So if you choose 1 a day, you'll get 1 every day, and then you've got a week course, 1 week. If you choose the 3-day option, you'll get 1 of those emails every 3 days. This spaces it out over 3 weeks. So it's totally up to you. Plunge straight through it all at once if you want to do it all in a day in about an hour, hour and a half, including the exercises and resources. Or spread it out over a week to do just a little piece every day. Or spread it out over 3 weeks, and then you'll consume a new 10-minute video every 3 days. So I'm giving you the choice. What's going to fit best in your schedule? All you have to do is go to mywebsitesafari.com, pop in your email address, and I'm going to send you that email that says, how would you like it? You want the 1 a day? You want the 1 every 3 days? Totally up to you. So please do that. It's, like I said, 10-minute videos that are going to really give you an idea, new ideas of what a website exactly can do for your business and how it can improve how people find you, how you influence sales through your websites, and even customer service, how you can help your customer and save you time at the same time. All that and more at mywebsitesafari.com. And then if you'd like to, I offer this service, which I call my website treasure hunt. This is where we do an audit of your website. It's all the material out of my course. It's all the material out of my book. And I have an 85-point treasure map that we go through. We'll analyze your website together. We'll run some reports on this and that, and we'll give you a full comprehensive report of exactly what you can do to improve your website and therefore improve your business in these key areas. So if that's of value to you, you can check out all the details at websitetreasurehunt.com. websitetreasurehunt.com. So it's time to buckle up, stay hydrated. I've got some questions, I've got some answers, I've got some tips and tricks for you today. So let's dive right into our featured topic of the week. I want to talk to you today about something I'm calling a 3-piece puzzle. This is a little bit of a confusion for a lot of people, so I just want to go over it real quickly. Hi, Julie. Welcome to the call. Glad you just jumped on with us. I'm peeking back in my notes here real quick because I talked about this domain name scam that drives me crazy. You got to flip back and find the episode for that. That was episode 16. I talked about this domain name scam. So go find episode 16 and watch me rant about that. And then a few weeks before that, in episode 14, we talked about the 7 different kinds of websites that I can create. And leading up to that, we talked a little bit about website hosting and what that is. So I'm going to refer you back to those episodes where I talk about those pieces by themselves. Episode 14, I talked about website hosting. And then in episode 16, I talked about a caution about your domain name. So refer back to those episodes to hear me talk more. But what I want to talk to you about today is that there's a couple pieces to this puzzle. And there's confusion because sometimes all 3 of these pieces could be set up at one location, and sometimes they could all be set up at different websites and different locations, and you might not be aware of what that means. So really quickly, I just want to go over these 3 different pieces that are all necessary and are all related, but they might be set up a little differently depending on your situation. So let's start with your domain name. Your domain name is your address of your website, and it's also going to become the address of your email address, probably. So that's your .com, if you will, right? Like for example, gilbertstudios.com is one of my domain names. Websitetreasurehunt.com, mywebsitesafari.com. So the first thing that you do is you buy your domain name, or have someone like me buy the domain name on your behalf. By the way, everything that I'm saying in the next few minutes, it's something that you could do yourself in your own directly in your own control panel, or it's something that you could ask me to do for you, and I would be happy to do that on your behalf. Whatever your comfort level is, I have clients all across the whole range. Some clients like to do it and they like to get in and buy a new domain name and that kind of thing. And some clients are like, hey, dude, I never want to touch that at all. You just do it for me and let me know when it's up for renewal. So wherever you are, we can handle that, okay? So it all starts with your domain name. I'm going to use a curse word. You could go to GoDaddy. You could go to one of these websites, right? And buy your domain name, buy your .com. That just gives you the address. So you've purchased the right to be able to do that. You're going to pay anywhere from $20 to $40 a year for your domain name, depending on who you go through and all the features they're going to give you as part of it. Okay, so that's the first step, your domain name. That's the address. You need that first. Then you're going to have your website hosting. Your website hosting is where your website lives on the internet. It's kind of like, I like to say it's the apartment on the internet that we're renting for your website to live in. So your website hosting essentially is a server. It's a computer physically sitting somewhere, and we're renting space on that computer for your website to live on. So it's perfectly possible that you buy your domain name and you buy your website hosting in the same company and they're already linked together. That's totally possible. Or you could buy your domain name over here and then you could hire CJ to build your website, and CJ builds the website over here on my server. You could keep your domain name right where it is and then point it over to CJ's server, and then I'm providing your website hosting, and now your website is live on your domain name. So it's going through your domain name and then coming over to your website host, and now your website is showing up at your domain, at your .com. So again, those 2 pieces could be at the same company, but they could also just as easily be at 2 different companies, and there's no problem whatsoever with that, as long as it's set up the right way. So those are the 2 pieces. We've got your domain name, that's the address. And then we've got your website hosting. That's where your website lives on a server, on a computer that's connected to the internet at all times. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions at all as we go. The third piece is your email setup. And once again, all of these things could be set up at the same company, or it could be 2 different companies, or it could even be 3 different companies. So for example, let's say, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. You could have bought your domain name at GoDaddy, for example, and then you called CJ and said, CJ, build me a website. So I build you a website over here on my server, so I will become your website host. Then we point your domain name to the website host, which is me. Now your website is live. And I can also provide your email service for you, create the email address and your email address, for example, like cj@askawebgeek.com. That's an email address. And where it's set up and who's actually providing that service could also be 2 different things. For example, I'm a huge fan of Gmail and Google. So I actually use Gmail. I use the Google mail system to actually provide my email, even though I have the addresses and things set up through my website host. Did it just get a little confusing? It might. But the point that I want to make is all of these pieces could be set up at different companies and they could still all seamlessly work together. Or they could be all set up in the same company. You could call me right from the start and say, CJ, buy my domain name. Okay, got it, .com. Let's set up your host, let's set up your email, and all of those pieces are inside my control panel. We can set you up with a Gmail account or G Suites, or if you like Microsoft, you like Outlook, we can do it that way too. I talked about email options a few shows back as well. Should I tell you which number? Yes, I should. That was a question that we got episode 18. In episode 18, we talked about a website not being secure and what to do about it. And then we also talked about email services. Okay, so I'm going to need to reference those. It's funny. I did already talk about all of those, didn't I? So here I am pulling it all together. But for reference, you could go look at any of those shows. So those are the 3 pieces to the puzzle. I know it's super confusing because it could all be in one company. It could be spread out at a couple different companies. And if you're not sure, that's okay too. We've got resources that we can check. So just give me a call, send me an email. We can do a real quick search. I can look it up. We can see where your domain name's registered. We can see where it's pointing as to who your host is. We could even see where that's pointing to who your email provider is. And that might help you track down how to get into that information. So that's the 3 pieces of our puzzle that we're talking about today. Starts with your domain name. That's your .com, your .org, your .whatever. Then that's going to pass over to your website host. That's where your website actually lives. And at the same time, you could have several email addresses that are also set up using your domain name, but that could be fulfilled by something even different, like Google Suites or the Microsoft Office Exchange. So whatever your flavor is, whatever your preference is, there's lots of options. In fact, there's almost too many options at any given moment. And if you're not sure what to do, that's no problem. Give me a call or send me an email and we'll figure out what's the right solution for you. That's what I always do. We talk about what's your situation, here's a couple options, and then we decide what's going to make the most sense for you. And it can change. We could try one thing, and if we find out it doesn't work, we could try something different. So let me know what questions you have about that. Those are the 3 pieces to our puzzle: domain name, website hosting, email setup. It's now time to ask a web geek. We've got a couple great questions from our audience. Come join our Facebook group and you can participate in all these ongoing conversations. We've had great questions and great discussions about customer relationship management tools like CRMs, project management tools. Melissa wants to know about PR Web, or if there's another service you use for backlinks. Come to our Facebook group, find these questions, and jump in with your ideas, would you? I'd love to hear from you and hear what you're working with and what you find helpful. I'd also love to hear some good books and resources on offline, inexpensive guerrilla marketing techniques and ideas. What are cheap things, relatively cheap things that business owners, new business owners, independent professionals can do to gain greater exposure and reach in their local areas and beyond. We've already talked about business networking. I'm a huge fan and proponent of local business networking in your community, but there's other things you can do. What are those things? What do you like to do? Come let us know. Couple questions from our community. Here's a question from Melissa, sponsor of the show, Melissa. She wants to know, how is it possible for an advertising company to run Facebook ads on my behalf on both Facebook and Instagram without originating those ads from within my ad account? I didn't know that technology existed, and I don't like that I can't view the actual ad spend. But yet, the ads are posted on my behalf exactly as they would be if they'd originated from within my ad account. So, Melissa, as I shared with you offline, I'm not a huge expert in Facebook advertising. I know a lot of the details. I know a lot of the basics to the concept, and it's something I've played with, but I don't know all the answers. So I reached out to another expert, and she works a lot with Facebook advertising. It's one of her primary businesses. So I've asked for her to jump in with her thoughts. So stay tuned. I believe she's going to make a comment right on your post here, Melissa, with some answers, and maybe she'll share with us some more details and resources. So this is a great example of, I don't know the answer to this one, but I know people who know. So I've reached out, and we're going to get the answer for that. Okay, Melissa? Stay tuned, and we'll find out more. We've got another question from Peter. Peter says, question, do you have an opinion on using freelance sites like Upwork, formerly Elance, or Fiverr for a quick and dirty JavaScript page that accesses one of my MySQL databases? Is it better to hire like a local kid so I can meet face-to-face, support an American? Thanks in advance. Hey, that's a great question, Peter, and the answer is yes. Have a great day. See you next time. No, I'm just kidding. You do want to be careful with these sites, but I've heard some great things. I've heard from people that are very satisfied with their results at these places. Fiverr, Upwork. If you're looking for a virtual assistant, I've heard Upwork is an excellent place to go. Here's the advice that I've received. Specifically, if you're looking for like a virtual assistant, they've advised me, come up with a couple simple jobs, hire 3 different people so you can give them each a simple job, and then that way you can tell who you liked, if they did it the way you liked, if they responded, if their communication skills were good. You just kind of have to try it in a small way, see what your results are like, and then go from there. You may find one of these people did a really great job for you, and then you might have another job to try him or her doing for you. And on it goes. So I've heard from people that said they've gotten excellent results from there. I do want to say be careful, depending on what kind of work you're doing or you're having them do, depending on how much of your own personal information or security you're sharing with them. Are you giving them passwords to certain accounts like your website hosting or your domain name stuff? You might want to be a little cautious if you're giving a stranger access to, unprotected access to one of your accounts. That might be a little dangerous. So if you can start in a small way. But on the other hand, these sites always have a place to read reviews that other people are writing about their work. So you may find someone that has a skill in programming like you're looking for here specifically, and they've got a lot of great comments. They helped them, they were friendly, they communicated well. So do a little due diligence, read those reviews, and then that might help you make a decision. Working with small tasks especially to see if you can find someone that you really work well with. On the other hand, Peter, you're also right. There is value in hiring someone locally that you can meet with at a coffee shop or elsewhere, you can shake hands with. But again, it's still the situation of they're relatively a stranger, so you still want to be careful on what information you're turning over to someone. If you meet someone locally, there's no place to read their reviews, right? So it's kind of like, which is better? Is it better to do the online thing where you can possibly read 100 reviews if they've done a great job? Or you can meet someone in person, which is a really great value, but they might not have any reviews. Maybe they do. Maybe they have some previous people that they've worked with. So I don't have a definitive answer for you other than I have heard of people having excellent results with doing that, Peter. So if you do that, please let me know how it went. Come back and let us know. Maybe you tried a couple people. You have a really specific task here that you're looking for. You're looking for a JavaScript page. So I believe that will help you find the right people on Fiverr or elsewhere who specialize in that. Read their reviews, and I think you'll find someone to do an excellent job. So I would say go for it. Be cautious. Don't give away your passwords and all your sensitive information right off the bat unless you know it's a trusted professional that hundreds of other people can vouch for. That's really important. So I hope that answers your question, Peter. Let me know. Come back and share your experience, because we're here to help each other with our experiences. So thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Melissa, for those questions. Let me know if you have a question just like that or something similar. What questions do you have? Join our Facebook group, Ask A Web Geek, and drop your questions right in there. It's an open group, so you can ask whatever question you want in the group. I'll answer it. The community will answer it. And if I can, I'll pull it here on the show so we can talk about it. We invite you to ask a Web Geek about anything that can help you in your business. Once again, I want to remind you that Ask a Web Geek this week was sponsored by the Active Life Company, where you can get 15% off if you use that code WebGeek. I also want to encourage you to start your day right. Check out this address, amcall.gilbertstudios.com. Get fired up for your day. Take 15 minutes in the morning to put yourself into the mindset of success. Eric Lothholm and his community is here to support you, give you some motivational tips, give you some sales tips, some marketing ideas to put you in the mindset of success and help you jumpstart your day. So check it all out, amcall.gilbertstudios.com. Check out my free video workshop, mywebsitesafari.com. 7 videos to help you make the most out of your website and make your website work for your business. And if it can help you, check out our website treasure hunt. We've got an 85-point treasure map, and I personally will go with you line by line down that list. We'll look at your whole website. We'll record it. We'll put together a full comprehensive plan so that you or your team can begin to improve your website systematically, which is going to improve your business systematically, which is going to improve your results. All of the links and details can be found at askawebgeek.com. If you're on the road, if you're listening to the podcast and you couldn't make a single note while I said any of that information, I wish that you would come to askawebgeek.com. You can find all the links and details that we talked about on today's show, and that's where you can click a button to join our Facebook group. You know what? Let me just take a real quick tour for those of you who are on the video podcast. Here's our website right here, askawebgeek.com. You can see that green button will take you right over to our Facebook group, so you can join and participate in the live show, and use this blue button to jump over to YouTube and subscribe there so you can watch that video a second time, possibly when it releases a couple days later, learn something on a new level. And we've also got the links on there for you to jump over to Apple or Google Podcasts if you want to check out that as a podcast later. So do that. Come to askawebgeek.com. You can find every episode, and you can find all the links and details there. I want to thank you so much for your time and attention. Thank you for being here with me this morning. It's a beautiful day here in San Diego. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Would you come to our Facebook group and let me know? Drop a comment under this video and let me know where you were in the world when you saw or listened to this podcast. I'm so glad that you're here with us. You're working on your business. You're working to improve your results, and I want to applaud you. Congratulations to you for taking the time out of your busy day to do that. By taking small amounts of effort to improve yourself, those will accumulate over time and give you big results. You know, at Gilbert Studios, we understand the internet is a jungle. It's too easy to get lost, go down a wrong path, fall into a hidden trap, and not get where you want to go. I encourage you, I support you. Join up with a tribe of people, hire a well-trained guide who can lead you through and get you where you want to go. Wishing you the very best week. Have a wonderful Website Wednesday. Make the most of it. It's the only day you've got today. And I want to wish you the very best, and we'll see you next week in the web jungle. The internet's a jungle. Roar! again. See you next time. The internet's a jungle.